Thank you for being here.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, thank you. So we can start introducing yourself and tell us like a little bit about yourself, who you are.
My name is Dia Mixon, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio. And I am an author. Obviously, I'm a children's book author, but actually, my career, I'm a Spanish teacher, and I've been teaching for 20 years. I've taught pre-K through 12th grade, and for the last 7 years, I've been a high school Spanish teacher, and I love it. And I love teaching like cultures, and I love teaching my students about like intercultural communication and how it's not always about like knowing the other languages. There's more to it.
Yeah.
So I also co-teach a course called Global Engagement because I have like a real passion in helping um, my students develop those skills that will help them when they travel or help them just be more empathetic and understand that, we're all different, but we can find similarities and learn to respect each other. So that's a huge part of my career lately has been outside of just teaching Spanish language and cultures, Spanish speaking cultures. I also like to teach that global engagement side of it
Yeah.
all.
That's so beautiful.
Thank
I'm also a Spanish teacher, and I
you.
found that so interesting, like finding your identity and also identify others. So that's so beautiful and inspiring.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have here your book, and I love it. That's One Whole Me. So, what inspired you to become an author?
So I think there's two sides of it. So one, when I was teaching like pre-K, kindergarten, first grade, I always tied a book to whatever the unit or the theme was. And I would go to our school library and I would go to the public library and I'd be looking for books that matched the theme. And they were always in English. So during class, when it was time for story time, I would either be translating on the spot or I would just kind of translate like the words I wanted the students to recognize in Spanish. So I was kind of doing this like on and
Same
off,
here.
like, yeah, like Spanglish translation thing. And like when I'd be lesson planning, I would put post-it notes to myself, like, okay, when I turn the page, like this part needs to be in Spanish. And I would like write notes to myself. And I'm like, I could just be writing books. Like if I want a story about you know, a family going around their town, like I could write a book about that and already have it bilingual or already have the Spanish words. But it was just kind of like a cute little passing thought. But I knew like that'd be kind of cool. Like that'd be like a really cool thing to just write these types of books. And then so it was kind of a thought in my head. And then once I had my son, that's when it was kind of like I actually felt the spark and I felt like, oh, I can actually do this now. Like it was COVID, so it was like I have the time. Um, and so I think those two things kind of coming together is what eventually led me to take the leap.
Yeah, eventually you think everything is written in English, so you have to do something, right?
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
life every single day. Like
sure.
everything is written in English, so I'm always translating everything. That's very interesting because you realize it's time for me to write a book.
Hmm.
And this book is so good because it's mixing two languages. So that's the interesting part.
Thank you.
Okay, so how was the experience of writing this One Whole Me? Because this is culture, this is so rich in every single thing. So how was the experience?
It was really cool. I do think it was like the right time and everything just kind of aligned. Like the thoughts came to me like in the middle of the night, just, different lines were coming to me and I my son, so he's bicultural. So my son is African American and
Okay.
Colombian, because his
Oh.
father's from Colombia. So like I already have this thought like he needs a character that like has a little life like him or looks like him or something. And so the lines were coming to me and I was putting them in a note in my phone. And then one day I just like I put everything together and I was able to start moving things around and I reached out to we have a an affinity group at my school that's called A Foot in Two Places. And like these are
Wow.
students who they're either mixed race or they're bicultural or they have, different religions in their family, different socioeconomic statuses. So it's any student that identifies as like, multi or something. And I reached out to those students and I was like, just tell me your experiences and like tell me things you would want to see and hear about. And so it was just really, really cool to pull from all different, you know, examples and
Mm-hmm.
end up with what I did. It was a really cool experience. I
Oh,
think it was just like right place, right time, right moment, right everything where it clicked.
that's so good. Thank you for sharing that. I'm Colombian too, so that's so yeah. That's a very cool,
Oh,
yeah,
I
coincidence.
mean, it just makes sense. I'm so glad. Like, I love to
Yeah.
hear from like Colombian readers. Like,
That's why this is I felt like I was looking me in the mirror. This
oh,
is me,
oh,
right?
I
This
love
is my
that.
character. I'm reading this with my one of my students,
Hmm.
and I was like, keep reading that. I love it. So, okay, next question is, was there an specific message you hope children will take away after reading the book? Because my student, it's also mixed.
Hmm.
So he was reading the book and this is special for me.
Hmm. Yeah, that when I sign the books, I always write, be proud of who you are,
Yeah,
because I think that's the message. And even if it's a reader who is not mixed, not bilingual, not bicultural, I still want them to walk away feeling like no matter what, they can be proud of who they are and where they come from. And I do think that's the major message. And also, I think specifically to students who identify so deeply with the character, like being, Colombian and being American, or, whatever the
yeah,
combination might be. I There's something about the when people say I'm half this or I'm half that, that never like sits right with me, because I'm like, okay, maybe scientifically, like DNA, there's numbers to it, but when it comes to identity, I feel like
hmm,
you're 100% of whatever you identify with. So I've talked to adults who have been like, oh, I needed this message when I was a kid because I never felt something enough, or I never felt this enough, and I didn't fit into this side of my family because I didn't have the. And I'm like, oh, like to me that just it like breaks my heart to hear that that's the experience of people. So I never wanted my son to feel like he's not Colombian enough, or he's not black enough, he's not American enough, he's not, like, because
yeah,
he's 100% of all of these things, however he wants to identify as.
yeah. You can be
So
bold. You can be
you can be
everything
all
you
of it.
want.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's really I think that's like the more specific message, but the overlying message is just to be proud of who you are no matter what.
Yeah, I love that because every single part of the book, it's just be who you are. You don't
Hmm.
have to be anyone else.
Right.
So that's the thing that I love. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm a Spanish teacher too here in the USA, in the US. So I see that bilingual children every day, and it's so hard for them because they have to, since an early age, they have to be um like immersed in another
Yeah.
language,
Yep.
maybe for their parents or maybe because they want to.
Hmm.
But this bilingual book that you create, what was the most challenging part of writing the book?
Hmm. I mean, I feel like I had a lot of ideas. Part of it was, do I want the book to be like traditionally bilingual? I went back and forth. Like, do I want the sentence in Spanish and then, the interpretation in
Yeah.
English on every page? And I think that was one of the most challenging decisions in the beginning. But when I followed like the rhythm of how I was writing, it's like we speak in Spanglish all day. I go in and out of
Hmm.
in my classroom, I'm in and out Spanish English. In the house, I'm in and out Spanish English. Um, so I think eventually I was like okay with it just being, you know, mixed. But
Uh-huh.
I think honestly, the writing part is the easy part of the entire process. It's the marketing and the business. Like I'm creative. I can create all day, and then when it comes to the business side of it all, that's where I found the most challenges.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
true.
was easy to find the purpose, and like think of who the audience could be and should be and create for that. But the like entrepreneur like business side is still the most challenging part for me. So I'm
Yeah,
so
it's
happy
true.
there are people still discovering this book because I feel like I stopped marketing it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's true because you always see the structure of a bilingual book is
Hmm.
Spanish, English,
Yeah.
but you mixed.
Yeah.
I want to read like a
Oh, yes,
sentence.
please.
It says, in the midstern snow or the Caribbean breeze, cuando hace calor or when leaves fall from the trees. It's creative because you're mixing. You're
Yeah.
not putting English and Spanish.
Yeah.
And I think that teachers really appreciate this because you always mixing, as you said, you
All the
always
time.
mixing Spanish, English all the time in your class, trying them to identify some words, some expressions that you
Hmm.
always use. But when you mix them, it's like makes sense for them,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I love this part that
Thank
you
you.
don't, yes, that you don't stay in the same structure of every book, every bilingual book, but you try to do different things,
Hmm.
right?
Yep.
Hmm.
It keeps their
So
attention.
yeah, uh-huh. So okay, so you tell me your most challenging part of your writing, but what was your favorite part of the process? The part that you loved.
I think seeing the illustrations and like
Wow,
the
yes.
the process, because I reached out to Natalia, the illustrator,
Yeah. Hmm.
just blindly. Like I had reached out to I had bought a book by another author and the artwork was by Natalia and I was like, I loved it. And I reached out to the author and said, would you mind like sharing the contact information or at least the process of how you got in touch with the illustrator? And then
Yeah.
again, it just like perfectly aligned. She was really busy, but she said she loved the story. She's Colombian and she's based in Colombia. And so
Really?
she's like, I love the story. So I mean, I think it was like, I don't know the typical timeline for an illustrator, but it was just a couple of months where she sent sketches and then she sent some with color and then she sent like the final and it just like watching that process, I think that is a memory I will never forget. Like it's my first book and it's my first time seeing like my story come to life. I think that was my favorite part.
Yeah. Wow. The illustrations are
Yeah.
amazing. I love
Thank you.
them
Thank you.
because it's showing your world of the story that you want to show.
Hmm.
Because when you draw something, you have to make them alive. See
Yeah.
this?
And that's the
Wow.
thing. I
The part
didn't
that I
have an
read, yeah,
I
shows
didn't
the character and all the climate that you want to show,
yeah.
both.
Yep.
So it makes sense.
It was
Like
so
when
cute.
you put your ideas into drawings, there looks amazing. Last question. So if you could leave one message for every child watching this interview, what will it be?
I think just going back to be yourself, whoever
Yeah.
that is, right? Take pride in your interests because your interests, even when they change, take pride in that. Take pride in who you are and what you like to do and how you like to dress. Be expressive, express yourself however you want. I think that's important. That's important for kids to know now, especially in an age where we see that they can compare themselves to so many other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Like, no, 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 no. Like, be yourself and just believe in yourself.
Yeah, that's such a great point because they always seeing another's, they're always seeing their partner, their classmates, and
Mm.
I want to be like you. No, just be
Yeah.
yourself, just
Just
be
be
you,
yourself.
like you're saying. Yes, that's true. So, okay, gracias, because you're a Spanish teacher.
Sí, sí.
Gracias por acompañarnos hoy. Y estoy muy feliz de haber leído tu libro porque es demasiado inspirador. So, thank you for
Thank
being
you. Gracias por invitarme.
here.